Hi, this is Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and this is episode 1700 of the number one podcast in Apple Podcasts for job search. No BS Job Search Advice Radio. I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome. You know, in honor of the show, I thought I would wake you up with that car horn. What do you think? Annoying, wasn't it? But it was an attention getter, right? You were asking yourself, what the heck is that? Because I just wanted to wake you up a little bit because, you know, today's a special day in the United States. April 4th, 1968 is when Dr. King was murdered at a motel in Memphis. I was 17 years old, living in the Bronx, and in tears on that day, as I recall. And then again a few months later when Senator Kennedy was murdered. There was one quote already from Dr. King that had struck me, and it was one that I think can apply to the workplace as much as about racism. Change does not roll in on the wheels of inevitability, but comes through continuous struggle. And so we must straighten our backs and work for our freedom. A man can't ride you unless your back is bent. Wow. Hope you find this helpful. Hope you give this show and that quote a great review in Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to the show. And with that, let's just get going.
I caught an article that Hannah Morgan from CareerSherpa.net, I'm pretty sure that's the site, yes, CareerSherpa.net, released, I'm not sure exactly when because I picked this up through Feedly, Feed.ly, which curates posts from a variety of places. Hannah wrote an article called, bear with me, 7 Tactics That Beat the Job Boards. So I want to give her credit for this. I may add something at the end or not, but the idea is job boards are the pond that all the fish are in. And when a company throws out a line with a hook in it, all the fish are trying to jump on the hook, right? That's what it's kind of like, fishing. And it's hard to be that one fish amongst that ocean of fish that finds the hook and is able to get there first and get snagged. So Hannah's article, and I've done similar things in the past, but I've kind of broken it up, kind of coalesces a couple of ways that you could be more effective and not use the job boards. I'm not saying that you don't use boards, but to only use them is a mistake because, again, you're just in with all the other fish. So, number one, she says, in-person networking. It's connecting one-on-one with people in a variety of different ways to make connection or reconnection. Remember, the statistics are 70% of positions are filled as a result of networking, and 70% of the 70%, or 49%, are as a result of introductions your network makes to people who you don't know who they know. So again, networking becomes very important. And the next option is online networking. LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups. Remember, Facebook has groups. So get involved with groups and organizations where groups exist. Now, number 3 on her list is recruiters. I have a problem with this, even though I worked in recruiting for as many years as I did. Statistically, recruiters don't fill a lot of positions. As a matter of fact, between job boards and recruiters, they fill about 30% of all jobs. I've seen as low as 27, 26%, but let's say it's 30%. The result is a lot of you spend all your effort on recruiters thinking that's the easy way, when your experience tells you it really isn't. You know, after all, recruiters are those people who lie to you all the time, who exaggerate what the employer is going to do for you, yada, yada, yada. Don't overwork the recruiters any more than you do the job boards. Pull back on both of them and emphasize some of the other areas. And the next thing she points to is targeting potential employers. Now, this goes well with the online networking strategy because you may not know people who work at a firm that you want to target, but Number one, you may be part of groups with people who work there. And number two, people you know may know people who work there. Easiest way to find out is through LinkedIn, which is a resource. When I started in recruiting 100 years ago, it was the old boys club. By the way, in the realm of networking, there's now a very strong and powerful old girls club as well. That's fabulous. Not as powerful as the boys club, but it's still fabulous that there are organizations and groups and people who look out for one another. So you target potential employers, find out who you know at those firms. One of the easiest ways to do this is obviously do a first level search, but you may also find that if you follow the company on LinkedIn and then notice in the right-hand column in the current version of LinkedIn, there's a field there that tells you about, or actually, I think in the current version, it's at the bottom, that will tell you who you're connected with in some way, first or second level connection, that is associated with that firm. That's going to help you get connected into the firm. Another way is through volunteering. After all, not all of you want to work in for-profit organizations. And there are also people who work at for-profit organizations who volunteer. To me, this is not as high a priority because you have to be lucky on this one. The right person has to walk in, or the organization has to have sufficient funding in order to make this one work. And the next two really, to me, go hand in hand. Online visibility and speaking, consulting, and writing. Writing takes a lot of different forms. You can write for Medium. You can write for LinkedIn. You can speak and consult. You can create online visibility for yourself with all these medium as part of building. I'm going to use the B word that so many of you will click away from, but I'm telling you, it's one of the most important things that you can do in your career: branding. Branding yourself as an expert in what you do. Now, if you're an executive assistant, it's kind of hard, except through reputation building. And how do you build a reputation? You know better than I. I don't know how to do that one publicly, except through association with the executive that you are supporting. If that person has no brand or no name, you're out of luck. But if you're someone who's in a field where you can show your expertise, speak to your expertise, develop a reputation for yourself through what you write, through YouTube, through speaking, through consulting, through Instagram, in a variety of different places, through writing. You can write a book, and it doesn't have to be the most profound book known to mankind. It just has to demonstrate your knowledge and expertise. It becomes a business card for you in many respects that will help you get in the door at organizations. So these are a couple of strategies. I also want to remind you there's alumni groups and alumni from your school that can help as well. For example, for someone who's very inexperienced, you can use LinkedIn to find people who graduated a year or two ahead of you and network with them. That's not in Hannah's article. That's something I've done videos and articles about previously. So that's a couple of different ways to do it.
So that's today's show. I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, here are a few more ways to get more from me. First of all, there's my website, which is thebiggamehunter.us. I have more than 8,000 blog posts there that you can watch, listen to, or read that will help you find your next job. In addition, if you're interested in my coaching you, at the site, there's a button there that says schedule. Schedule time for a free discovery call. Schedule yourself in for coaching, interview preparation coaching, salary negotiation advice, how to have your questions answered, or coaching related to hiring more effectively, managing and leading, helping you be a better executive in your organization, and overall being a better employee of your firm. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/TheBigGameHunter. Mention that you watched or listened to my content. I like knowing I'm helping folks. Once we're connected, if you're interested in coaching, let me know. I think it's easier at the website, but if that's the way you want to do it, so be it. Lastly, join my group on Facebook called Career Angles. It's focused on helping you do better at work. Information there is shared daily, and I'm attempting to build a supportive group there. Ask to join. I'm not letting recruiters in, so I want to make it a safe place for everyone. I'll be back tomorrow with more, and in the meantime, I hope you have a great day. Be great!